pushing outside of that, I can have some level of like interest, but I can't do it honestly. I can't, like, it doesn't make me tick the same way as.
Because if your passion and heart's not in it, like.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I can conceptually get why it's good or what it needs to have done, but I can't actually like relate to it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't like zone focusing.
I want to show you. I know you've seen this camera before, but it seems appropriate.
I love that camera.
This is my one fun camera. It's a little baby guy.
It's
tiny.
a little guy.
It's
It's also
from
a
2005. Also a Pentax, but
Pentax is killing it.
half the screws are missing. So like it's
That's
like
okay.
falling apart. And every time, and so yeah, it's from 20 years old. Yeah, and click the little power button, turn it on. Boom. Yeah. Boom. Look at that.
Ooh.
Look at
that. Oh yeah, 3, 2, 1.
It's super cool.
Such a cool camera.
It's silent. It's tiny. But I honestly think if I fall, it's gonna break into a million pieces.
Yeah, where'd you find it?
eBay.
Ooh.
So
Hey.
Hector was waltzing around. I'm not a photographer, and I'm
Whatever.
not good at that. I'm like, music is really my thing. But Hector will walk around with things, and I'll say, "That looks cool." And so he had you have an Elf, which is it's like a Canon's version of a mini camera. And I saw you with it around, and I'm like, I need to find my own thing. And I found this, which is just as tiny as possible. I have like
It's so cool though.
I have a
the elf
bag.
is tiny like that too.
It's that one's tinier than the elf.
Ooh.
This one's like baby small, and it's great.
It's so cool.
But I do honestly, more and more I use it, the more I'm like, oh, it's gonna like break easily, very easily.
You just need to put a bit more screws on it. It's all good.
Yeah, that's what I need. It's missing them.
It's missing half the screws. Did you buy it like that?
Yeah, it also came with pictures. Like I bought it off eBay, so there's
pictures in
pictures
it?
of somebody else's like family.
You have to keep that. That's special.
I think I
From
might.
2005.
I don't know if I deleted it. I think I did. I think I was like, this is weird because
No,
it's someone's
that's
kid.
history.
That's me with like you find like film cameras in the wild or canisters in the wild,
Yeah.
and you want to get it developed and see what's on it. And hope it's not murder photos.
Oh yeah.
With this one, I kept looking at the pictures, and they're from 2004. And I was like, I'm looking at a 3-year-old kid, and this person's my age. This is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird.
And you deleted them.
Yeah, I don't, they wouldn't want me having them.
It's always like interesting. It's like, would you be able to find these people online? I mean, with the internet. So what it is? Can you find these
know.
people? Hey, is anyone in baby photos of these? You
I
know?
mean, technically, oh my God, imagine just
That's me.
post it on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. I would say.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Or have AI find it for you now.
Ooh, that's
Crazy
spooky.
stuff. Yeah, who knows?
Oh boy.
One day we'll be in that world. And on that note, welcome to Creatives Anonymous.
Hello.
I'm Logan McDonald. I'm joined by Hector Aizon and our guest today, Rose Honey. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
So glad to be here.
Yeah, so happy to have you on. Welcome.
Thank
For those
you.
who don't know Rose, Rose is an illustrator and artist and is somebody who imbues a sense of like, I don't know. I feel a sense of curiosity and whimsy imbued in all the types of things you do, whether it's like the digital art that you've done, or even like this last the last bazaar I saw. You had the blueberries.
Oh
Or was
yeah,
that
my little
bazaar? Was that-
sculptures.
Yeah.
It was 33 artists actually.
33
Yeah.
artists, which is awesome.
So I'm gonna go to that.
Yeah, they're so cool.
You haven't been to
I have been
any?
to that. I, think.
I was like-
yeah, we've been to that. Yeah.
Nice.
They have them
nice.
pretty frequently now.
Yeah,
It's
they
really
do it
awesome.
monthly, right?
I think their summer series they're doing it monthly, and then I think they'll do a fall and then a winter series.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. It always happens. The block of that happens during like True Hood's recording time. So we lose Darian,
Yes.
and I can't go because I'm working. But it's super cool. Anyway, blueberries. That's like another thing that I think, like your style overall is imbued with whimsy and curiosity, and comfort, and I love it. So I'm
cozy.
really, really lucky to have you on.
Thank
I really
you.
enjoy you here for this conversation.
Sweet words. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're also missing a core member today.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Camrynne let us know that she's
That's why
having.
it's quiet. I'm good.
Yeah, that's why it's a little more.
Sorry, Cameron.
Yeah, Camrynne does bring the energy. We're a little more chill.
Well, we miss you, Camrynne.
100%.
Feel better, my friend.
100%. But we have a cool conversation. We have a cool topic planned. But before that, I want to get into some check-ins.
Check.
And for a check-in, I kind of want to try like a guided question this time.
Ooh.
And that
Lead us.
It's dark. Guide me, please.
and the guided check-in question is where do you see yourself growing right now in this season of art that you're in? Where is the growth happening? I guess I could answer for myself while you two think if you'd like.
Yeah.
I would
We can
love
go in a
that.
little circle.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think about it, so I have to think. No, I will say my big like season of growth right now is that restructuring all that I'm doing around like the new goals that I have of being like my own music artist. So for like the last long time, like my whole job has just been as an artist, mostly producing for other people, and that really wasn't the intention. I was like writing with the intention that I was gonna like release music and like get enough knowledge to write something, and then started working with other people, and that was cool. And it was like it went successfully. So then that ended up taking over the majority of what my art was, but then I wasn't writing anymore. So now that I have gone through that process and released music into the world, I had a show like a week and a half ago. I have a show this Wednesday. We're recording on a Monday. Yeah,
Oh,
I
for
made that
real?
shirt. I screen printed that. Yeah. So anyway, like now that that's happened, I can feel this like transformative energy in me of being like, I have less desire to put energy towards other people's things, and not in like a bad way, but it's like I'm not saying yes to any more new work, and I'm really being picky with my time.
Proud of
now,
you.
which feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. It feels tough. But it's transformative in like a really positive way. And I'm still working through what that growth looks like, but I think that's that area for me right now.
So what would you say your main goal is you're focusing on right now?
The main goal that I'm focusing on right now, I don't know. I feel like, so when I released that last little series of music, and that was like the first time that I really put anything out there. And I've written a lot of songs and produced a lot of things, but I felt like the real core magic of like what I like when I make something, like I finally found glimpses of it in this latest project that I released. And now that I feel those like things, I'm ready to take those ideas and push them to like be the main focus this next time around. So that's the main goal. I think I'm really, really excited to write. I've been writing a ton, like every day right now I'm writing songs.
Every day?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
practice.
Yeah, I'm waking up early to like, all right, I have to set down time to write songs because I'm really
Fantastic.
excited about this thing. So yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing where I'm like, this is the direction. I'm really excited.
Yay.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course. Hector, you want to go?
Yeah. I think the opposite for me is because I want to do like, I think for this year solidly, I've been working more with other people versus my own stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
As you know, I just started my new job.
Yeah.
And it's kind of taking a break for me to kind of get that mental muscle to a rest for my personal stuff. But at the same time, like this year alone and the last year has been like the busiest year for me in terms of work, which is great. But I guess that's like my goal for me to grow this year is just really like implant a foundation with, I don't know how to say it. It's like trying to establish myself. You know how like people have like a photographer, dedicated photographer?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like, oh, like that band is doing a show and like their images are through me, you
Yeah.
know? Oh, that company is doing a release. Oh, that's through me, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you see my name essentially just pop up like in a little bit of places everywhere, you know? So it's like basically just cementing that, my name in that regard.
And you're looking to find like who your partners are and like the long term rather than like having to hunt on your own the whole time.
Yeah, this month has been crazy for me.
Yeah, how's that?
But just a lot of gigs back to back, which is great, but also it's really tiring. But we're gonna talk about that later.
Yes, we'll get
I was
there.
just about to ask, how are you finding rest? But yeah.
No, we'll talk about that later.
Not existing. There is
Yeah.
Yeah, no, as
feel
artists,
that.
we just
there's some months.
either there's too much rest or there's too much work. But no, yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. I want to grow into basically just that's my focus, is just kind of like getting my name out there more, even though I've been doing this for a while, you know, like taking photography and all that stuff. But I feel like a lot of the years I spent is just doing stuff for myself. You know what I mean? So yeah, now it's kind of like shifting into the other side of where I want to work with people to have that harmony, and then maybe at some point just teeter back and forth between my stuff, work stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make
Interesting.
sense?
Yeah. No, you're kind of like initiating or finding the steps for a new kind of balance and a new equilibrium of the type of work you get.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's weird.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see where that would be weird.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, I remember
Exciting.
a little while ago you were also talking about like how much community was a part of that. Do you feel like your new
Dude.
focus is like more towards that? Or
Yes.
what do you, yeah.
Actually, yes. Thanks for reminding me, because I have a solid core group of people I basically just like edit with and hang out with. I mean, also they're also my dance crew. Basically my dance crew.
Dance and
Half
photo.
my dance crew is just also photographers and videographers.
Yeah.
But we started this thing. It's been kind of like we've been kind of tossing the idea around. I was like, dude, let's do like a late night editing session team or crew. That happens like bi-weekly. So we just started it like 2 weeks ago?
Nice.
2 weeks ago. And we just have you ever been to Donut Parade?
Oh yeah. Oh, you did it there?
Fun.
Yes.
Wild.
Yeah, no, they're like really cool with us just coming there, like a big group of us. So like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can use that back room, and because no one ever goes there or uses it.
Yeah.
So we go there, and like we had like maybe 4. Yeah, we had 4 people last time, and then this next Tuesday we're gonna have like added people to it.
Nice.
And basically, the premise is just let's all just get together and work together, and like give critiques. I brought a monitor.
Yeah.
Also to play Smash. Always a common theme in this.
You gotta
I was
Yeah.
like the
Smash
podcast.
Bros.
There's always Smash brought up.
It always comes back to
It always comes back to
You
that.
can't avoid
Before
it.
you got here, we were talking about Smash.
And it's honestly, it's Hector. It comes back to.
No, I brought a small monitor, and then like the purpose is like, okay, like if you need help or if you want critique, like we want to give critique to people's work, because I feel like that's like somewhat lacking
Yeah.
in the community. Like we just like, oh, this is cool, but like, what do you like about it? Like, or what do you hate about it? It's like I miss like going to the when I was in college, like some of the class, like, oh, you put up your work on the screen, and
Yeah.
people are like, like I like what you did here.
The group
this needs
critique,
more work.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's like the purpose. That's one of the purposes of having this little community get together, is where we're like, okay, like I show you this work. What do you like? Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. Where it needs improvement.
Yeah.
Where it excels. So if people have troubleshoot questions, like Jiggy
Yeah.
is a videographer. I don't know. I know like very minimal about videography, but it's like I'll toss in my input if he asks for it. So
Totally.
yeah, and then we play Smash. So.
There you go. There you go. You got to get it out.
I think that's cool that you're cultivating a group like that, 'cause
Yeah.
it's hard when we're in our little groups, especially like freelancers. We don't get a lot of time for critique or self-growth, and even I think that's so cool that you're creating that, because I know that's an area I struggle with. Like I'm growth oriented. I would love for someone to say like, "Hey Rose, like your kerning's off there. Like here's how we work on there, or here's some techniques that I learned," and just like share that, because I love teaching and I love teaching others. So like I myself also like love soaking that up, but that's an area I'm lacking because I don't really know who to bounce ideas off with.
Yeah.
Or us also creatives, we feel maybe weird to give feedback because we're like, I don't want you to think I'm being kind of a jerk, but like,
yeah, for sure.
here's this. So
Yeah.
I think that's cool. You're creating that safe space to do that, but also like that camaraderie you have with that group.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Totally.
I don't want to like mean for it. It's like I don't want people to think this is disrespect. It's just like
No.
if they ask me directly oh, what I should do or what do you think I should do? I'm like, oh, well then here's my input.
And
You
creating
don't
that
have to take it.
Yeah, creating that
it's like-
space of openness,
Yeah,
like
it's-
before, like that's the thing. We're all coming here. We're all like super,
We're
like
all learning.
yeah, we're all learning, and nobody's like above anybody. I
Yeah.
think having that, like, that's so cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
come through both of y'all. I mean, everyone. Like so. It's just like it's. I just want it to like evolve. I want it to evolve into like like something to look forward to. What else? Oh, like Dre, one of my friends who's also a dancer and photographer. He was like, "Oh, I've never shot a wedding. Like, what do you like? What are some pointers?" Like,
Yeah.
for sure. So that's like another direction I just want it to be informational. You take something out of it, kind of
Like a mentorship kind of vibe.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but it's just sharing information.
Yeah. And I could see like weddings take a lot out of photographers. So someone to say like, hey, how do I shoot a wedding? Having other people who've shot a wedding to be like, bring water.
Dude,
Bring a friend.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Yes.
like I still have plenty of questions for that. Like I don't know if you know Connor Allen.
I do not.
He's like, I feel like he's like such a goated photographer here in Spokane. Goated, dude. Like there's a lot of like wedding photographers in Spokane that does great work, but Connor Allen, I feel like his is just so like above the grain.
Sure.
So I was like, dude, please teach me, please. Like, and he's cool with it. He's like, yeah, man, come through. Like, we'll have a coffee and like we'll sit through. Like, if you have any questions, I'm like, oh.
That's so cool.
Well, Connor Allen, if you're listening, you're loved.
Yeah, this is
shout
true.
out. Anyway,
Yeah, if you're looking for a sign.
there's my check-in.
That's cool. That's cool. Rose.
Well, I'm gonna sandwich the conversation. Logan wants to like focus on his work. You want to reach out and do more work in the community and work with more people. I wanna work on myself and my own work, and like I think because primarily throughout the year I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm focused on everyone else but my own work. I'm focusing on helping my students and helping them grow and teaching them new things. And I want to focus, and my goal for myself is to really hone in on my work. I haven't taken time for years really just to do that, besides a little bit of markets that I do here and there. And really I'm just cramming before a market.
Yeah.
So I'm just not putting forth my best work. So I want to focus and be better about managing my time for myself, for my freelance clients, for my illustration clients. And then right now I'm on a break from teaching, so I think I'm just going to focus on those 3 things. And when the school year starts, I'll focus back on teaching. But really right now, I just really need to pour love into myself and my art and fulfill that. So then when I do go back, when the school year starts, my students can see me refreshed and see what I've been making and also be inspired by that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you found that? And I guess I don't want to get too deep into this idea yet, but have you found that to be like a hard push and pull in terms of like, let's consider it like you get a summer break, I assume.
Yeah.
So the push and pull of like having a few months of reprieve, either to rest or to like reinvigorate your art before having to go into like the long days of teaching. Like how has that felt in years past versus like how you're planning for this year?
I think in years past, I was like swimming just to stay afloat. With teaching, it's just like some things we don't talk about. Like you have to sometimes make your own curriculum and then make your own classroom policies and communicate with parents, but also students and like admin and then your coworkers. And so you're not just working when you're at school. I'm working when I come home from work. I'm writing lessons. I'm rewriting that curriculum. I'm making projects at home. I have homework on top of work.
Grading.
On top of grading. It's just, it never ends. And so like the first couple years, I just felt, even in the summer, I just was like, I just want to rest. But really, I'm writing the curriculum for the next year.
Right.
So I think now I'm just starting in my career to find a spot where I'm like, okay, I'm going to set this a little bit of time aside for rest. Not rest. I'm going to set this little bit aside for like teaching and curriculum building. Then I'm going to focus on rest, and then I'm going to focus on my art, and then I'm going to focus on freelance stuff. So just trying to find those little like ways to manage that. But let me tell you right now, that's my goal and that's my focus, because I struggled really in the past with that, and I still struggle. But I think just every little bit and every year I do it, I'm going to get better and better. And yeah.
How long have you been teaching for?
This is the end of my 3rd year. My first year I started in October, so it's like, wasn't like a full year, but I still say 3 years, 3 school years.
Totally.
So yeah, and then before that I did 8 years of sign language interpreting. So when I see your shirts around town, I'm like, hand signs. I was like, oh, cool.
I can read that.
I love that you incorporated that into your
shirts.
branding. So
Thank you.
Get your Logan shirts.
yeah, no, the deaf and hard of hearing community is such like a big part of me, and I'm a big advocate for them. So that was really cool.
Awesome. That makes me
really
happy.
cool.
So yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad I wore the shirt today.
Yeah, it worked out.
I was meaning to actually because I was like, oh yeah, I went to Logan's show.
Kind of wearing. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, so I've been in education for, man, since 2013.
Oh, wow.
And I love it. I love just teaching and being around students. And
How long have you like maybe called yourself an artist for?
ooh. So we talked about like cameras and stuff, and you're like, Rose, how much do you know? I don't know a lot, but that's actually where I started, was like
Really?
with
No way.
photography. But very like Spokane, especially back then. I mean, still now it's very saturated. So I was just like learning by watching others and kind of learn, just doing a little side thing for like senior photos. I did a wedding one time. Let me tell you, I learned a lot, and that was the end of my photography career.
Oh, yeah.
I learned that.
Sealed the deal.
I learned I was just like, I think my calling in my direction is more towards like art and design, and like
yeah.
I realized there are so many beautifully talented photographers in Spokane that time's for you, and this time's done for me. So I appreciate it and I love it, and but so I would say since about like 2016, I started doing graphic design more focused, and then swaying more into illustration, and it kind of teeter-totters, but my focus is more illustration based.
Very cool. And what like led you to that? Like how did that jump happen? Yeah, I'm so curious.
So from photography, I started doing like senior photos. So then with senior photos, they're like, can you help me make announcements? And so I'd like be designing announcements, and then it moved into like more announcements for like birthday announcements or like wedding announcements.
So you use the photos as a template, and you just kind of
Yeah, and I
designs
built on
over
that, and I love
Okay.
typography. So then I really just wanted to focus on that. And then
Whoa.
I got
Cool.
into like calligraphy, and then I was just like, man, I love more hand lettering than calligraphy. And then I was like, okay, I want to do that more digitally. And then I just was like, well, I'm actually really liking doing these self-portraits I started doing for people.
Yeah.
So then I just was like, I actually really like illustration. And
So
then
cool.
so I started studying more illustration, and like just having more focus on that.
Yeah.
And then here we are today. And it just it's hard to say as a creative, at least for me right now, that I'm just like one thing.
Yeah.
Mixed media or multimedia. I like to work in sculptures. I like to work in digital art. I like to work in watercolor, oil. So it's just really hard to not bounce around for myself. But then that's also kind of disservice to myself that I don't really get to hone in on like one area.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm loving experimenting and playing with that creative part of myself, and I don't really have the need to focus on one area or the drive to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm loving just dabbling, but jumping from photography to kind of making invites to like logos to illustration, and yeah.
Totally.
super cool.
That's cool. That's cool. I feel like, at least where you're at now, it feels like no matter what medium you're working in, like you remind me of Kaz in that way, the artist, who does like the clown with the X-eyes thing. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
yeah. He operates in so many different mediums. He operates oil painting. He makes toys.
And sculptures,
He does
yeah.
sculptures is what he's popular for, but he's also like the 2D. Like he operates in all these different mediums because he likes it all, but his artistic vision gets executed clearly you know who's doing it throughout all of it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot like your artistic style, where it's like although like your
Translates,
medium
yeah.
changes, the like your identity comes through no matter what medium that comes through, which is cool.
Thank
I
you.
admire it for that reason.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. So cool. So cool.
It's cool to establish that like the artistic identity, even though you have different mediums, and it's like you still people will still recognize your work. You know, like, oh, that's totally Rose. You know,
Totally.
yeah.
Do you feel like that aspect of your art is something that's done intentionally, or is it more like this is what comes to my heart and mind, and so it's made?
I think I was really kind that you said that, because as another goal of mine is really to be more intentional about being like the continuity and like having just like an overarching style and making it kind of look all the same. Sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place, but maybe that's because I'm like, oh, I'm trying different mediums. So I guess from an outside perspective, that's really awesome that you guys do say that.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%.
Because it's like me, I'm just like, I really want to focus on that. So that's validating that you're like, oh yeah, I see you.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
like in my perspective, it's like you don't even need to focus on that. That's a strength of yours already.
Well, thank you.
So probably the more you lean into
only
it,
go
the
up
better.
from here.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, it's so cool.
Time to do some 3D modeling.
Oh my gosh, imagine. That'd be
Yeah.
so wild. Also, I've never heard of the jump from photography to graphic design through.
Gateway.
Not very many people know that.
Yeah, that's
I know
so
about
cool.
me.
That's crazy.
It's interesting to see the gateways, like
Yeah.
where you begin and where you end, or where you are currently.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you started to be a
With
photographer
dance.
through dancing.
Through dancing,
It's like,
Yeah, I
Which is so
heard.
weird.
yeah, it's not normal.
It isn't. Yeah, it was just like the iPhone era for me during that time too. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I might as well just buy a camera, and then the rest is history.
Yeah,
I like that jump from dance to photos.
totally.
What's your jump, baby?
There was none. I think it was music all the
Just
way.
music.
I had
cool.
a Rock Band microphone because like when you got the game Rock Band, the microphone was USB.
Yeah.
And I plugged it straight into my computer, and I used the voice recorder app.
What?
Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
On, like,
To
old
record
Windows.
Yes.
I'd record like myself doing things, and you can overdub on it.
That's so cool.
So one
What made you
time-
think to do this? Hold up.
I don't know. I was just chilling.
Whoa, you're cool.
I was lonely. I was so I was in the woods growing up.
I was about to
So
mention
there
the
was
woods.
nothing. Yeah, if I wanted to do something, I had to like figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably like out of sheer boredom. I was like, I think I can plug this into my computer and record it.
Whoa.
And I don't have it anymore. But there's a version of me.
Yeah.
I recorded like 8 3-minute long versions of me cheering in the background of like different, like I would stand in a different place in the room and cheer. Yes. And nobody was in the house. And I'm like in 4th grade doing this. And on bass, or maybe I was in 6th grade, and on bass, which I had hardly known, I recorded the whole song Beverly Hills by Weezer, playing just bass, and then sang an overdub
love
over the
it.
top of my bass playing with all the cheering in the background.
Do you still have that?
No. No, my brother made fun of it and I deleted it.
No, bullying.
This is your lesson today. Stop deleting history.
No, but the story's just as good. And I love deleting stuff. I still do.
That tops your cookbook, dude. I'm telling you right now.
If I had that as like a memento, that'd be so cool.
That would be
deleting
fun.
stuff's good. I believe in that a lot. But yeah, that's how I came to be. I think it was like, I mean, I loved doing experimenting with a lot of different art stuff growing up, but like music is totally the thing that was like, whoa.
And you're also a writer too, right?
Yeah. I love writing. I went to school for English.
Yeah, whoa.
But songwriting is definitely where my heart is. I don't know. We'll see where I evolve. I'm still a baby. I got room to
Still
We're
grow.
all still babies.
Yeah, we're all still babies, but yeah, I got room to grow. So we'll figure out where that goes.
Level 33 photographer.
The level what was that?
I'm a level 33 photographer.
Your level, yeah. You've got your skill points in the portraits.
Yes, you're right. I still need to allocate different ones. Okay.
Nah. You have one class. Well, with that, I think now's a good time of any to jump into the main topic today.
Here we go.
That was so awesome. The topic today that we want to talk about is work and art balance. How to like in the world do we manage, the prospect of like having a day job that complements our art lives in one way or another. And I think we've all had different experiences of that at different points of our lives that helped and hurt for a long time. For example, I worked in property management for 3 years.
Ooh.
That was fun.
I seen you.
Yeah, you've
I've seen you in that golf cart.
That's a true
Like,
fact.
Look, I see Logan. Look. Oh. He's touring people.
So anyway, exploring that concept, I think we're all in like a really unique spot now, and I think this is a conversation that everybody who's an artist has to deal with in one way or another. So I will start with a simple question: is where is that work and art balance at for you right now?
I'll go first.
Cool.
It's terrible.
Oh.
It's el terrible. Okay.
Yes.
No, it's so I just started this new job.
Yeah.
I work for Providence now. And it's great. I love it, honestly. I miss getting up in the morning, like being a morning person, and just being able to grind out the day's work and then focusing on the creative stuff later, right? And then when I worked at my last job, it was the opposite. It was just I have to use creative stuff all the time. My creative brain is on all the time.
You were you worked in like marketing and social media management.
Social media marketing and like making content,
That's exhausting.
photo, video, ads, signs, you name it.
It's not just one job.
No.
That's
It's all
graphic
different
design.
hats.
That's photos. That's
Yeah.
videography.
Yeah.
That's making copy. Like
Yeah, exactly. Storyboarding.
I had to get familiar
Yes.
with Adobe Express, which is basically just a Canva.
it's like Canva for
Yeah.
Adobe.
Yeah.
It's Adobe.
OG Canva.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
I was like, I don't know.
I was using it in 2018,
I think Canva was before 2018.
but it was bad then.
It still was Canva.
It was so bad. It was
still
not
was
Adobe
bad.
Express is bad though.
no, but it was the same level as bad as it is now then. But Canva was like bad then.
Was it?
Yeah,
I never used
oh,
Canva.
yeah.
Well, I only used
Canva.
one Canva a couple times. So.
People talk about Canva now, and that's the picture it's in my head. Is 2018 Canva. Yeah, I know it's good now, but
yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, that was the reality. I did that for almost 4 years. And it was just kind of getting to the point where I felt stale.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, I want to switch gears and just kind of turn off my brain for the day, like not have to use creative energy to do creative stuff. But right now, June in particular has just been so busy, like with other stuff outside of work, and which is great. I get to shoot photos and,
Concerts.
and make some money. Yeah. And get my name out there and make some money. At the same time, it's like, okay, I gotta like this week alone, I had like 4 or 5 gigs just every day, or once every day.
Oh wow.
It's been so exhausting. I
Back
took a
to
break on
back.
Sunday. I did take a break on Sunday though, so
Much deserved.
but I also have editing, so
Yeah, you do it. Well, that's why you have your editing group.
You're probably still thinking about it when you're resting and like.
oh yeah.
You see the stills in your
Yes.
head when you're trying to go to bed.
Yeah. I should edit that. Maybe later. No, but yeah, that is right. That is one of the purposes of the editing group is to get work done and support each other through the because you have talked to these people too. They're like, oh yeah, I need to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
I'm like, perfect. We all need to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
Is this just a creative stigma? We all just like slackers?
No.
I mean, you're not. I mean, you got a lot on your plate too. But
Oh, sure. But I do think that is something that we tell ourselves a lot. So do you feel like the backlog of work you have to do, managing that with your day, like how does that all like congeal in your head?
well, so the first half of my day from 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. is the work. Just like, okay, that's physically taxing.
Yeah,
Mentally,
work.
emotionally, I'm good. Take a short break, eat some food, and then that rest of the day is like, all right, cool. Like that's where I kind of focusing on the creative aspect, which is like, it's actually not bad. Like when I think like when I go into shooting, I'm thinking, oh, I'm a little tired. The photo's gonna turn out like kind of shitty, but it's not. It's actually not. You're like, oh, because I've saved my mental aptitude for that aspect, like shooting bands. Like I recently shot Nothing Shameful's performance at the Knitting Factory.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun, like, and I like in my head, I remember during that show, I was like, oh man, I want to go back there. And then Ethan, the lead singer, was like, hey, come back here. And I was like, oh, perfect.
Done.
Done, say less. So yeah, no, I was zipping around and it felt good. It felt good being able to, I got some comments like, dude, who's your photographer? Like that guy was like zipping around.
Yeah, man.
I was like, he was over here one time, I look away and then now he's over there. I was like, yeah, that's dedication. I was
yeah.
like, yeah.
That's why you do parkour.
You're
Oh
right.
yeah.
You're
It's all cohesive.
putting the skills on the job.
Hey, photographers, learn parkour so you can get from one end to the other one without being winded.
Yeah.
Add that
So-
to your resume.
Yeah.
Level.
I'll be really fast. Get up really high.
I am fast.
I am speed.
Just skills
I am
fast.
fast.
Fast AF, boy.
But even like when you were doing the show that I put on, which was like a super intimate acoustic show,
that was
you were
fun.
very like your movement and where your body was. Like I was watching you during Hannah Siglin's set, who opened, like all very intentional and thoughtful and like appropriate for the type of event which is cool.
Yeah.
Which just means
It was
you're
such a
pro.
It was that show, by the way. It was a super cool show, but man, like the audio in there was so good that even like me doing this, like
Oh, it was
you
quiet.
can hear it. You're like, oh, I was like, oh. I remember, and this is such a silent camera too.
Yeah.
And I'm like taking pictures of you hear,
Really?
and I felt subconscious, like, oop.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. For what it's worth.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I don't think other people heard it.
Yeah.
But I think it feels like they do because like there's no blasting speakers or anything.
No, there isn't. It was such like an ambient like sound.
Yeah.
Acoustics are so good. But yeah, I was just like shooting. I was like, oh god, that's loud. They're like singing, like Hannah singing, you know, like her song. It's like very sentimental music. Well, they're all sentimental music.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh gosh, like hear this clap.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah. The that was one of the instances where I feel good creating in that kind of environment, you know.
Yeah.
Like being able to deliver the vision to, you know, we're both happy with it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, and so real quick, you said bad. You said terrible when you said how the balance is going. And you just
oh
gave
dude,
me two good
I'm so
examples.
raggedy. You can ask Lavina. I'm very raggedy.
So what? So what's your change? Like, what are your thoughts on what you need to change for that?
I just need more sleep, honestly. And it's like it's one of those instances where it's like, okay, I need to sacrifice like this couple hours of sleep just so I can finish this. Or it's like, oh, I need to cancel this shoot or move it to a different day just because I can't, you know, like I can't, like it's like weighing on me heavy. And I'm like, I can't, like, where it's like the physical aspect, I can handle being tired, but there's a level where they're like, okay, you're exhausted, dude. You need to take a break. So that's something I'm still learning to this day. Like I've petered back and forth between being able to take care of myself at the same time, but also still not do that.
How do
It's
you
like a-
allow yourself to do that? What does
Sleep.
rest look like for you? Just sleep?
Shaking her head. Sleep. I slept until noon today. That was great.
That felt so good.
And it felt good. I think I don't want to try to, you know, if I sleep too long, I'm like, I don't want to do anything for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sleep, and still, like we've talked about this, we're consuming art to kind of supplement not doing art. That's also been helping. A lot of interactions with community heads, you know, like being able to chat. I'm thankful for the people I know with like the creative space to just like to feel that fire too, you know, like to push that. It's like it's a blessing to be able to have that to kind of push you, you know. So
Totally. Yeah.
but yeah, no, honestly, main thing is sleep. Taking rest and not thinking about photography for a little bit, you know. So I think it's just June. I think June is like the season for a lot of busy things.
Yeah.
I'm shooting like 3 weddings this month, concerts, portrait portfolios, headshots. Yes. Concert. Yeah, I already say concerts.
Concert.
Oh.
But still, already, that's so much.
Branding.
Yeah.
I just shot for Chaos Arcade.
Whoa.
Yeah. They were doing a blood drive, and that was fun.
A gaming
blood
a gaming blood drive.
Yeah, no, it was cool. They
Did
had
they
like
give you like achievements?
they give you like they give you a raffle ticket, and then you give you 2 hours for free gaming,
Oh, that's
and they
cool.
give you free snacks, free drinks. Yeah, so
That's sick.
if you give a blood, yeah, you get a free stuff. So.
Yeah, you gotta go play. I just
Yeah.
feel like you should get like some sort of badge or achievement. Like that feels like an appropriate.
Like a
gaming
little
reward.
like button or a sticker. Or
Like
something.
a beanie, it says I gave blood and I got games.
No, I'm thinking like Ash
achievement
Ketchum
unlocked.
Pokemon
Oh,
badge. like,
yeah.
that you can.
You earned the blood
Oh,
badge.
that'd be cute. Like a little blood.
Yeah,
drop.
something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would
huh?
be that's.
Hey, I want to push the idea.
There you go.
Ooh.
Next year's blood drive. Let's
Take
go.
it. Yeah, say that. Yeah, even if it's like a bad like embroidered patch achievement.
Nah, man, they got like good stuff. Have you ever been?
No, I
Dude,
don't.
their
I
prizes
don't
are
game
dope.
publicly. I don't think so.
He
No.
just games privately.
That's how you guys all met, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did meet at a public
A
gaming
public
event.
gaming
A
event.
public game, a Smash Bros.
Semi-public.
When was this? When did we meet?
Well, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Was
probably.
it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
We met at Caleb Brown's house.
Caleb Brown. That was a semi-private Smash Bros. Tournament. I remember that.
I got destroyed that one.
We chilled.
I was
Yeah.
very-
Me and Darian were the top two.
I was a tadpole.
And I lost. And Darian made everybody in the room be quiet. For like the final game, it was like
Just to, like,
2-2.
focus and hone
he's
in.
like, "You all need to shut up. We're playing this game. Don't talk about anime." And then we played our game. I remember it so clearly because I'm like a big, like I'm
Why is
big,
that
like
so
feel the vibe of
accurate?
the. Cause that's what he did. I feel the vibe of the room. I would be so terrified to tell people to stop talking.
Bro, well,
You
know how-
would?
Yeah, but Darian's so like I can't focus.
Bro,
gonna
you know
kill
how I know that you know what another thing that he's said before?
What?
So when he's come over to Kai's house,
Mm-hmm.
my sister's house, for like, you know, like just get-togethers, and we've
Yeah.
played Smash together. And he prefers to play in the room that doesn't have like music in the background.
Yep.
So we play in the garage where there's
Ooh,
he's like,
nice
yeah.
he wants to
silent.
hear
Yeah.
the grenade ticks.
He'll be upset if
Oh,
I'm too close to
good.
him on the couch.
He can hear you like breathing.
No, I don't even.
you
He's
a
the one
smacker?
breathing loud. I'm not even breathing loud. I just sit crisscross when I play a video game, and he's like,
He doesn't like your
"You're too
crisscross."
close to me."
Is that just the neurodivergence?
I don't. I'm no doctor. What do I look? I'm not Dr.
He
Mario.
just needs to focus.
But you picked him up. You should know.
Yeah, no, it's focus thing. But anyway, and you're that way too. You're big in the locking in focus thing.
Yes.
And I'm just so. Anyway, it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's like when I play Fortnite or like Overwatch, and anyone on mic is like talking, I'm like, "Don't talk to me! Don't talk to me! Don't talk to me! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!"
Yeah. Like there was one time we're recording a podcast. We're pre-recording a podcast. And then Camrynne had come in,
Yeah.
and we were playing Smash because we had some time to kill.
Oh
and,
wow.
And Camrynne was like talking the whole time.
And I, like a normal human being, talk back.
Oh, I was like, "Did you finally tell them to be quiet?"
No, I have a full conversation with Camrynne. And what do, Hector?
Did you say be quiet?
No, I
You didn't say a word.
I didn't say a
You
word.
actually didn't know Camrynne was talking.
I didn't know she was even
Oh,
in
because
the
you were
room.
so like.
I was tunnel vision, and I was just like. And then we finally did that match, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Camrynne."
Exactly.
I didn't hear a word you said. I thought you said.
But getting back on track, I guess. It always. That's.
See, that's just part of the topic. It's just like, where do you find the balance?
Where do you find the balance?
Smash is your balance.
It's an equalizer
Rest.
for sure.
Do you find it restful?
Sometimes. No, not playing online.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, playing
I
online's
don't
not-
ever.
Oh, ever?
Yeah, I don't ever. It
Not
does
even when we
not.
play together?
No, it's always a grind. It always like it feels like I've put on heavy armor.
Oh
Oh.
boy.
And then afterwards I'm like my shoulders hurt.
You're, like,
He takes
so
it serious.
tense.
I applaud you for that.
Yeah, no matter if it's like online or in person, I'm just like, "Ugh, I need to take a nap."
Yep. Sleep is the crux. Honestly, that's what's missing for me. So it's just I just need to find that
More sleep.
in between where I'm like, okay, you need to prioritize this. So,
Rose, you touched on it a little. We talked about it a little bit, at least in terms of this most recent year. But what's that balance look like for you?
yeah. That school life is schooling.
It's so different. It's so cool. And you're such a cool teacher.
Oh, thanks. Man. I wish I was like some big baddie expert on this. And I'm like, yeah, I have it all figured out. But let me tell you, like, I come home after a long day of work. I sit on the couch. I disassociate for like 30 minutes, an hour. Love on my animals. Think about what I'm going to make for dinner. And then I go back into my freelance work until I go to bed. Then the cycle starts all over. I teach. And then in between there, I'm also in my master's program. I'm in a CTE program that I just finished up.
I can't even imagine.
I'm trying so hard to like also do all of these things to, in the long run, take care of myself, but then also find rest and care for myself in the in-betweens. And so that's where I'm lacking. So I wish I could be like, yeah, I come
figure it
home
out.
and I get to take a little nap, and then I like meditate, and then I get to do art for an hour, and then I get all my freelance done before I go to bed. No, I'm like,
Oh.
and then I'm just like, but I told you I have my meeting today, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm illustrating the book, and
You have a meeting like every day.
I have a meeting every week and on Mondays, and so that's where my big focus is. It's like I do teaching as my number one, and then like that book illustration is number two, and then everything else I'm just like trying to cram in there.
Hmm. On top of being a student
A student
and a homeowner
and a
and a pet owner
and a friend and
People
like
person.
yes, and I am. So this summer I'm just gonna focus on myself, on my art, and then you know what? I think if you are one of my clients right now, you probably know this right now. I'm just gonna be a little tardy. I'm just gonna be a little late, and
Yeah.
that's if you love me and you want to stay with me. Glad you're here. If you are like, hey Rose, your style, your flow's not for me, and I recognize you have a lot going on, but like I just need to value that for myself, but also like my clients will value that too if they like want my work and they
Yeah.
want to work with me. And I gotta be honest, like I can't keep up. I don't want to give up teaching, and I don't want to give up freelance, and I don't want to give up my own art. So I'm just like being pulled in all these three directions. And I'm trying the best I can. So
Yeah.
I don't have it all figured out. I am still like trying to swim and not drown, but I'm also giving myself grace and doing the best that I can. I'm recognizing like, yeah, sometimes I'm several days a week replying to emails, and I know that's so unprofessional, but I'm doing all this on my own. Like I'm marketing, I'm the artist, I'm
Yeah.
the secretary, I'm a teacher. I'm like, I'm giving myself grace, and that's what I'm gonna do moving forward. Is can't say yes to everything, and I need to learn that.
Yeah.
So
That's where a question I wanted to ask you. Like, do you find yourself desiring to be pickier?
yes, I used to say yes to literally everything, and this last year, that was my goal for 2023 was to say no.
Did you?
Mostly.
Nice.
I said no a lot, but then I also said yes to just some things that number one I wanted to build connection with, or just like a cool project that I like really wanted to be a part of. So I said no more, and I said yes a little less. So proud about that.
Yeah.
So this year I'm just gonna keep focusing on that, but also like taking care of myself and my mental health, because I noticed that when I preach and I tell others to like love yourself and like take care of yourself and rest and make sure you're eating and drinking water, then it's hypocritical of me because I don't model that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher here. I need to be I need to be modeling that, and like
As I say, as I do.
I know. So I'm gonna
It's
just
tough.
be more intentional with that.
Yeah. That's really tough. I've really relate to a lot of those things right now, especially when it comes to like learning what I want to do and letting that be a factor now because it wasn't before.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel that. I really feel that, where it's like I felt there was a period, especially when I was in like the world of like production exclusively and engineering, where it was like, I hate all of this now. And not because I don't like it. I hate it because I'm locked into so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm being pulled in a lot of directions that I don't even know if I love the type of work it is. Like, I don't even know, like in music example, like it's genres where it's like, I think I finally have understood these last few years that really my genres that I'm really good at are like old school hip hop and like super like laid back folk stuff. And those are it.
Yeah.
Those are the things that's 90% of what I listen to. And pushing outside of that, I can have some level of like interest, but I can't do it honestly. I can't, like, it doesn't make me tick the same way as.
Because if your passion and heart's not in it, like
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I can conceptually get why it's good or what it needs to have done, but I can't actually like relate to it. I can't believe in it. It's like there was a moment when I was doing stuff for True Hoods of like production where I was trying to lend and listen to all these different soul samples and like start from there and trying to make songs out of soul. I don't like listening to soul music very much. And then I made a focus really intentionally, like, all right, I'm going to just source jazz records. And then I only made music, like tried to make True Hood songs using jazz records. And I was like, I love this. This is great. I love every second of this because I could listen to a jazz record all the way through. I couldn't listen to a soul record all the way through. Not because it's not good. It's just not what makes me tick.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been learning that a lot about myself over the last few months. And I'm happy where it's taking me, but I'm nowhere near landed yet.
So your focus between like work and creative and life balance is just being more intentional.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and really, really, like, I'm even at a point now. I mean, I'm getting married in August, which is awesome.
Ooh, congrats,
Thank
baby.
you. Thank you. I have a cat now.
Yes.
Who I
Remy.
love. Yeah,
Queen
yeah,
Remy.
Queen
I'm
Remy.
looking for her.
Yeah, she's hiding. I think she's hiding a lot in the other room. I was gone in LA last week, and I think she was scared. But anyway,
Oh,
she missed me.
babies.
But anyway, the amount of time I have to dedicate towards art on top of my day job, which is awesome and super supportive of my art, but it's still a day job, is limited. And that's fine. But despite that, I have to... So now that I recognize it's limited, I really only want to fill it with the shit that I really am about. And that's been something that I've been really trying to figure out lately. I don't know. Hector, do you have any experience in that? Like,
Being
I feel like you're somebody who's also said yes. Like whenever somebody asks to do a portrait, you're like, "What time?"
Oh, dude, I've definitely said yes, but I've also said no a lot.
Tell me, I've never heard you say no.
Really?
Ever.
Oh, so every now and then I'll get DMs and be like, "Hey, I'm doing this. Would you want to take photos for it?" I'm like, "Hey, I don't do that kind of style, but I can show you who does." So yeah,
that helps.
It goes back to the community aspect where I was like, well, I mean, I could. But I'm not the best at that style, so I would recommend these two people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Check out their Instagrams; they're great.
Pointing someone in the right direction.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Darian talked about, where he's like, I know a photographer, this guy.
Yeah.
I know a sound producer, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
It's the Darian approach.
That is the daring. And I think too, like for one example, I do like I do mixing and engineering.
Yeah.
But I'll never mix somebody else's things because I don't how far away you put a microphone changes the sound of something.
Yeah.
And if I didn't put the microphone where I wanted it to, I'm not gonna like the end product. Like that's just so I
technical.
Yeah, on that technical side, I need to have done that work if I'm gonna put in all that love mixing. Because if I'm mixing somebody who they had a different vision in mind while they were in that engineering process, it's like, I'm not gonna really. I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you notice like? Have you ever done like any brand work or anything like that and tried to like do any illustration to existing brands?
Oh yeah.
Is that easy or hard? Does that feel good? I don't know. I feel like that's
I feel like
similar
with anything as a creative, it's hard because your vision and your style doesn't always mix in like with the client's vision and style, and you're just trying to really work the two, and then maybe one proof that you pitched, you're like, oh, I love this as an artist, and then they choose another one, and then it's like a back and forth. So
that hurts.
It does, but I mean that's just the reality of art in general. I'm sure like you take photos and maybe pitch photos, and people are just like, oh, I love that, or that wasn't maybe my style, or
happens.
Yeah.
and maybe I wonder about you with your music, and they're just like, hey, actually, can we try something different? And you're like, oh, but I love that so much.
Totally.
So yeah, especially with brands that are like pre-existing, I think that's a hard challenge for me because I just have to honor their previous brand and honor their vision, but also honor myself as the artist and what I want to produce. So like, yeah, I said yes to something, and now the outcome is this ultimately what I'm proud about in the end. So yeah, I feel like I do run into that as an artist, but I also run into projects as an artist where I mesh 100% and I love everything and I create it and everything flows and they're like, yes, I love it. And
yeah,
that really fills my bucket.
Totally.
But the reality is like client, like creator relationship, it's like, there's always that back and forth. So it's
good to have that synchronicity, especially with the client. And like, I love it when people just let me do, like, we have a shoot. We're shooting next month. Just do what you think. You know,
And
just
I love
do your thing
that,
is like my
yes.
love language.
Really?
I was like, cool.
But then sometimes they say that, and then they're just like,
I will. Yeah.
That, yeah.
So then it's like the ambiguity of it. I love it. I also I want more direction too. I'm just
True.
like, I kind of want you to write down a list so I know what the hell you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I say, okay, so do your thing, it's like, oh, this is the theme. This is what we're doing. Just do your thing. But it's like, oh, when I worked at my old job, they're like, oh, do your thing. But
All the, yeah.
dot. It's like there's so much content I've made in the past where I'm like, this took a lot of effort and time and a lot of thinking, and then doesn't get used. Like because it doesn't fit the butt, you know. Like,
Yeah.
And I think a
Yes.
lot too, like there's one thing where it's like when you get direction on the front end versus when you get direction on the back end, feels so different. Like direction on the front end is like, all right, I trust your inspiration and where like the reason you're here is because I love your mind and I love what you're able to create. Go in that direction.
Yeah.
But when you get suggestions on the back end, they're normally things like, oh, can that font be a little smaller?
Yeah.
That's a little too. It's not. Is that supposed to be green? It's like that's like.
Can you enlarge
those
the logo? Like,
I can't. Can you have a little reverb on the snare? Like those sorts of things where I'm just like,
could you do this?
I put it the way it did for a reason. Anyway,
that's how I feel. But
Just the little.
that's the
It's tough.
the joy.
Yeah. But I feel like those are the sorts of like, that's the way of thinking about how to collaborate or how to like handle that collaboration. Like information on the front end is good. Suggestions, ways to shift it on the back end. If there's a lot of very minute, weird things, I don't know.
So then tying back to the beginning of our conversation is like, that's where I feel like finding community and growing in your craft is really important. So like fine tuning your skills or so like art or photo or music, but finding community to kind of critique and build your skills is so important.
Yeah.
So be cool to have more resources like that.
Do you know if anything like that exists on the visual side, the art side?
You know, I see like graphic designer like meet and greets like pop up here and there, but I don't know if I'm just maybe now that I'm aware and more focused on it for our conversation right now, like maybe the universe will present these opportunities, but nothing comes to mind. And I don't know, I would love that because I know I try to model that with my students. Like, hey, we're doing peer critique now. We're going to talk to our peers and like see how we can change our logos or change our designs, like to make them more user friendly or to make them more like follow the hierarchy and visual elements of design. Like I need that as a graphic designer or illustrator. Like I need that. And right now I don't have that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the lookout.
Yeah.
So
that
if
sounds
y'all
good.
know something,
Yeah. We need to do a call out.
Yeah,
Hello,
no, I'm super
hello.
down. I don't know. I've in the long term, I'm like really interested in Creatives Anonymous as a way of like,
Bringing us together.
yeah, making like a genuine sense of community or like having some sort of like whatever, however we sponsor it. Like,
yeah.
like meetups and surrounded under the focus of like let's share our ideas and like improve them together. Workshop, like communal workshop things. That's been an idea that's like just figuring out how to make it happen and finding the right people. I feel like Hector, what you're doing with the photography scene is like definitely
Yeah.
like the petri dish of how to make that happen. And then taking however we learn from there and bring it to a broader perspective would be super cool.
Yeah.
It'd be the dream.
It's like that barbecue.
It's like that barbecue.
That
was
was
a
so
photographer
cool.
barbecue. That was so fun. I remember going up there and everyone's photographers, and I have shot photos and talking to everybody,
Oh,
being
yeah.
like, what gear do you use? What do you talk? What type of thing do you do? And I'm like,
It's the nerd
I
aspect.
play bass guitar, which is so cool. But it was such a beautiful, and seeing everybody interact. And
Yeah.
there was a dog.
There
There's
was
a picture
dog.
of me and that dog on my fridge right now.
Oh, from the
Oh,
barbecue.
okay.
Yeah, so there was a
Cool.
Polaroid.
Already.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
cool that you're doing such cool stuff in the community, dude.
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
I had time and energy to do that.
Oh.
And like a collective of visual artists or designers.
Yeah.
So someone do that for us, please.
Yeah, someone make that would be so great.
Or
Same
if
with
one's
the
out
music.
there, like share
share what's going.
Share what's happening.
Yeah, I'm sure stuff like that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was some ideas around that that Panoramic Dreams is gonna do, but I don't think they're around anymore. So I think it's sadly. So I think that whole like realm in terms of like artists, like the engineer side is, there's some cool ideas happening there too. But it just takes somebody to make it happen. Someone who knows people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sometimes if you just start it, people will flock to you. You know.
Build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, but you gotta have more time, and I'm just saying I'm stretched on time, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
That's true.
No, but and I think there is a certain level of prioritizing. Like even in your situation, you're
right.
really, really tired, but you're putting a lot of prioritizing and making sure people meet, which is wild,
Yeah.
like more fulfilling in some ways.
It's good for the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do it for the soul, man.
You like people though.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah.
How so in the larger conversation of like managing work and art, what's like, and I think we're in the middle of like wrapping up here. So what's like the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout this process? Like if you were to like make a concise like lesson of what you've learned in your experience of managing having work and art, a day job and an art job.
I'm gonna just kind of say kind of what you said, being intentional about the projects and like where you kind of divide your time, but being so mindful about resting. Like I think earlier, Hector, you called yourself like not lazy. What was the term you learned? You used.
What did I say?
I don't know, but I think like so many times if we're just sitting on the couch, kind of zoning out or like watching TV, like that's rest, and I think that's okay. That's not being lazy. Like we need to allow ourselves to rest and maybe even read a book or like taking a nap and sleeping. Like I think we need to prioritize rest.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, okay, I worked, now I get a rest. I think we need to prioritize rest so we can work and be energized. So being intentional with our projects, but being intentional for rest, whatever that looks like for you, so you can output beautiful work.
That reminds me, I think I had a therapist a few years back who told me that rest finds its way out. And you can be intentional about it or not. But if you're not intentional, it'll find its way out.
It will.
You'll end up doing the type of rest that you don't, you'll end up not being intentional with it, and it'll just force itself upon you because we can't not have it.
And
you just crash and burn too, you know?
That too.
I've seen a lot of my friends who really output themselves. Like I've seen them like do work like.
But part of that crashing and burning is the rest finding its way out.
That's true.
They didn't do it along.
That's
mentally,
the
physically,
overheat.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the car overheating, dude. Yeah. Jesus. For me, dude, honestly, like at the end of the day, it just feels good. Like for me, it's like I feel good that it feels good to have all this stuff going on at the same time. It, like what you were saying, with good rest is also very important. But like for me, the lesson is just being able to complete and do all the things I want to do, but at the same time, it's like it helps the community in some way or another. Like I feel it's like we were talking about the soul. It feels good for the soul. It feels good for like being able to. I don't want to call myself like a person to lead, but I also just want to help steer the pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and other people will start doing it too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meetups in Spokane now. There's
is.
a lot of photo meetups in Spokane now. It's like,
do be.
that's great. It do be. But yeah.
Totally. One topic we didn't touch on, and it might just be because we're all years into doing our art, so we trust this at this point now. So this might not be the conversation we have, but something I think is really important is that the growth's gonna happen no matter what speed you're working at. And I think for a lot of people, like when I was working originally, like a big period of my growth happened while I was working full time and lived 40 minutes away from my job. And that was still like the period where I put in the most time into learning engineering and learning production and learning how sound works. Was during that time. And everything I'm doing now is now built on the foundation of what I was learning 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So trusting that like you might be doing work you might have like your day job and you might be doing art on top of it, but trusting that like where you want to go is still attainable regardless of whatever barriers are in place in your life, whether that's family. Family's not a barrier, work's not a barrier. These things aren't barriers, but they take up time.
Yeah.
So long as you're putting time towards the art, you're going to end up where you want to go. Rick Rubin quote, who's a big time producer. He's firm believer that every artist has it in them to be like Paul McCartney level artist. And the best way to start there is to do art as a hobby. Is to start figuring out what you love and just doing what you love when you can, and naturally watering that plant of your artist self. Over time, you're going to grow into as far as you want to take it.
That's so important. And I think to bounce off that, what I always tell my students is practice makes progress, not perfection. Because I think as artists, we want to be here already, and the little bit, every time we practice, we pick up a pencil, a pen, an art brush, a camera, like we're growing in some way, form or another. So practice makes progress.
We're all students in the end.
You know? Exactly, always.
Some know more than others, and it's just sharing information.
Yeah.
At some point, it clicks. You're like, oh, I get it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, what a beautiful conversation.
Great.
I'm like, my heart feels happy after this.
Hey.
Rose, what's the best way someone can support you and the things that you do? How can people,
Well, I'm coming out of my creative shell. I'm done teaching for the summer. So I'm really going to focus on some sculptures. And I'm doing a big theme focused the last year around food. Primarily like healthy food. It's just a big calling of mine right now. So probably Instagram. My Instagram is inkandhoney.co. And I just say hi, just follow, say you like my sculptures. And I love you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.